So it's been about a week since I started some of my seeds. Some of my seeds I actually started on Monday. So we are, for some of them, a week in, and then a bunch of them only like 5 days in. So not a lot of them have germinated, but I have them out on a table on my patio where they get some sun. And outside right now it's about 36 degrees, and I took the temperature inside of these cold frames and they are about like 65, 66 degrees, and that's without the sun being fully out. Right now it's very cloudy. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you those and see what you think. So right now this is my setup. We have all of our cold frames hanging out here, and they're looking pretty foggy. As you can see, they're building up some heat inside. The sun's kind of out, but it's mostly cloudy, but they are holding to about 65 right now, and it is about 10:30 in the morning. So they will get a lot warmer as the day goes on, I guarantee. We do have a couple things germinating that I started a little bit earlier and then placed in the cold frame. Some purple basil over here. Hold on. As you can see, we have some purple basil starting. There's a couple other ones. I don't think there's any in here. I believe that's a weed. I'm pretty sure. Along with this, we've also done some things for our garden to start getting it ready. I've taken some of these containers that I had on the side. I had a mint plant that was kind of outgrowing its container, but I don't want to put it in the ground because mint is invasive. So put it in a little bit of a bigger pot. We'll see if it comes up this year. Our chives are coming in this year. These chives have been going for about 3 or 4 years, I think, at this point, maybe 3 years. And then I cut back some of my thyme, but you can see there is new growth on it. So as you can see, there's some new growth on our thyme. So we'll hopefully have a big bushel in no time. There's some more new growth over here. The rest of it looks dead, but I guarantee it's going to come back. This is the second year for the parsley, and it's usually not good the second year anyway, but we're going to try. If not, I will take him out and let him put a new one in, I guess. And then finally, and they haven't germinated yet, but we did a whole container of some French breakfast radishes. And also, something my husband did, which you didn't see last week on Saturday, he went out and took the mini excavator and he turned the soil. We're going to put 4 8x4 foot garden beds, and then I have a bunch of 4x2s. So I think we're going to have those going, and around the edges we'll have some zinnias and sunflowers. But as you can see, this is a pretty big patch that he dug up. He dug up our sunflowers as well from last year, and I'm gonna try to use them to stake my green beans and make like a green bean TP kind of situation, maybe even some peas. But if you see, this whole patch is going to be garden. There are going to be flowers on the edges. There are going to be garden beds, a bunch of them, and then we're going to put wood chips down in between just so we don't have mud that we're walking on. And some of the stuff I'm actually going to grow in the ground, so we'll have a couple ground patches too. But it's a little far from the house, so we're going to have to figure out the watering situation when we get to it. So that is our update, and I guess I'll check back in with you in a couple of days to see if there's any garden progress. But this is, these are the things we have to do to get the garden ready in the spring, and it's our first year here gardening, so there's a lot to do with the setup, and there's a lot to do with what? Oh, okay. hold on, I will be back. Sorry, I'm back. So yeah, this is just some things we're doing to get the garden ready. Follow along to see what we do and what we like, what we don't like. Hopefully we'll get to brief that at the end. But yeah, follow along. Let's see if we can get it where we need it to be. Hey guys, today I'm going to show you a quick and easy recipe that I like to use during Lent, or just when I want something meatless, more fish, or something really affordable. So I'm going to show you how to make tuna cakes. So I drained and I rinsed 2 cans of chunk light tuna in water, and I'm just going to add them to the bowl here. And then I'm going to chop up some onions. I have sweet onions. I don't really measure. If you like more onions, put more. If you like less onions, put less. Right now I'm using some leftover onions that I had. There's not a ton, but I want it to stay pretty cheap. So I am just going to do with the onions that I have. I'm going to chop up 1 pepper now. So I have 1 yellow bell pepper here. I'm just gonna chop it up into some small slices, or dice it at least. And then I'm gonna throw it into the tuna. And since I didn't use a ton of onions, I think I'm just gonna use maybe a half of this. Save the other half for something else and get a little bit more bang for my buck. You know, and then we're gonna add them in. Now that our bell pepper's chopped, I'm gonna add it into the tuna. And then a variety of other things here. Now, I like to add some herbs. Right now, I have some cilantro. It's gonna go bad. So we're gonna put some cilantro into the tuna. This gives it like a really fresh taste. I like it. Some people don't like cilantro. If you don't like cilantro, you could put parsley, you could put basil, you could put, I've put oregano and thyme and like feta cheese in this when I had it. Like, you could literally throw whatever you have in your pantry and throw it in there. So now we chopped up some of that cilantro, throw that in there. All right. We're just going for, it's kind of like everything but the kitchen sink, you know? So I'm gonna go ahead and crack 1 egg in. If you don't have an egg, you can always use your favorite brand of mayo or the cheapest brand of mayo. Right now I have Aldi's brand, and that's cheaper than, you know, my favorite was Hellmann's, but right now we're trying to save a little bit of money, and I can concede on that. So I will have my off-brand mayo, but if you like Duke's or Hellmann's or whatever your favorite brand is, you can throw that in there, or just an egg. You don't just necessarily need mayo. I like a little bit of both because mayo is made out of egg and vinegar and all that stuff. So I'm gonna put like a couple teaspoons full, something like that. And since I don't need the spoon to scoop anything out, I'm gonna use it to mix. To cut down on the dishes. Open my new breadcrumbs up. I just have some store brand breadcrumbs from Giant. It doesn't have to be fancy. I'm not gonna put a ton in. If you don't have breadcrumbs and you have crackers, you can crush up crackers and put it in. You could put some normal bread chunks in. It doesn't have to be anything. I'm just gonna sprinkle, I don't know, maybe like a half cup of breadcrumbs. And then I have some hamburger buns that are on the verge of going stale, and I want to be able to use them up. And do you know that bread chunks really taste good in things that you kind of mix together, like meatloaf and meatballs? And it actually also tastes good in this, and it fills it out a little bit and, you know, creates more bang for your buck. So I'm just gonna break some bigger chunks of hamburger rolls into it. You do not have to add this. You can put some white bread that you have going stale. You can have some sourdough that you made that's gonna go stale. Like, you could have some fresh bread just because you like the taste of this. So I just wanna show you that you don't have to go out and grab something that you don't need. You can do this with whatever you have. It's great. They stay together. They're delicious. So, all right, on to the spices. I'm using what I have. I'm using what I like. I have some lemon pepper. We're just gonna put a little bit of lemon pepper. We can do some Old Bay. Just like that much, maybe a little bit more. We can do some onion powder. You could do garlic powder if you want. I don't want them to be super garlicky today. You can do some salt and pepper. I like a lot of pepper. Like, I'm gonna keep going here because I love pepper. And then some salt. Cut out the salt if you don't need salt on your diet. You can do some low sodium options, whatever you want to do. So now we mix. Just another roll that I have. And see that if that helps crumble it up a little bit. If it doesn't help, I'm gonna actually add some more breadcrumb. And I just feel like it needs more spice. So that's a lot of Old Bay, but I like Old Bay. Oh yeah. That's coming together great. Kind of looking like crab patty mixture. And I like this because I don't know if anyone has ever had salmon patties, but this is less fishy than that. So like the canned salmon patties my parents used to make, I like them, but they're so salty and they're so fishy. And this is a lot less salty and fishy. I'm gonna add a little bit more lemon pepper just because I like a lot of lemon pepper too. And it goes a long way because this is gonna make a bunch of cakes actually. 2 cans of tuna goes a very long way. I think I like that consistency. So I'm gonna roll up my sleeves and I'm just gonna start forming them into little patties. And you know what my son likes? See how they stick together? They're very nice. I'm just gonna throw them on there. But my son likes little tuna nuggets. I do little nuggets for him because he's a little bit picky and he definitely would eat nugget looking things than he would these. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make 4 or 5 normal sized ones. And then I'll see how far that gets me. All right, so I have my big 7-quart Dutch oven to fry these in just because I don't want splashing, but you can use a pan. But I'm just gonna put a little olive oil at the bottom of the pan and we're gonna heat it up and get it rolling on high here. Now I have all my patties ready to go. You can use olive oil. You can use canola oil, whatever oil that you have on hand. It is ready. So I'm gonna throw all of my cakes in here. Just start getting a little crispy. Maybe like a couple minutes each side. The tuna's already cooked, so no worries there. I think that's gonna be it for the space that I have. And I think I want a little bit more olive oil in, just so these guys get a little bit more. And I wish you could smell it because it smells so good. It smells so good. So I'm just gonna get under them a little bit because I don't want them to stick. So, ooh, really popping. Don't really want them to stick. Just giving them a little bit of pulling off of the sides. They're doing okay. I'm gonna turn them down a little bit, maybe to a medium heat. And I think maybe the one that I started over here, oops, I'm gonna move these a little bit. This one I feel like is ready maybe to flip. Okay, so a little bit. I'm just gonna squish him down. He's not quite as what I want it to be, but you know, he's getting there. We'll check this guy. Ah, I like that. See, that's what I kind of want to see. Let's check this guy. Oh, he was very burnt. I mean, he's not burnt, like he was ready though. Let's check this one. I like that one. And finally, this is a little bit harder to do in the cast iron, but let's check. Oh, nice. See, this one's falling apart a little bit. That's okay. We'll give ourselves some grace because it's very... Cooking doesn't have to be perfect. I feel like everyone thinks cooking has to be perfect, and it does not have to be perfect. You can do whatever you want, whatever you like, whatever you think tastes the best. You can do it. I'm just putting them on a paper plate. That's what I have. I'm just gonna scoop them out really quick. One of them did fall apart. I'm just gonna take that one, and I just want to try it for you guys so that you can see my reaction. I already know I like these. I make these a lot, but just gonna do a taste test to make sure everything in this one dried a little bit. And they're really good. So please go give them a try. You can throw anything in them. Tuna's easy, cheap. You can have it on hand and, you know, be able to make something great with it. So have a great day, guys. I'll see you in the next one.